Alright, welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Known Classics. This is episode number 3395 and Doubleshot 3289. Got two more trades for you. The thing with these two trades are, both of them have since ended. One, of course, basically lasted a bit longer than the other one did, because the other one got canceled due to low sales. This one surprisingly ended because of the whole Age of Evolution stuff. That's the first one, mind. The second one ended because of low sales. First up we have is basically Phoenix Volume 1 Orbital Resistance from Stephanie Phillips. Yes, this is, I believe, the first ongoing I can think of she's ever done. She's done some miniseries, Marvel. I think this is her very first ongoing. Of course, it was announced just recently that she's going to be the writer of Daredevil. I heard about that. I'm like, cool. Because Daredevil, for his ongoing series, here's the thing. I thought she was the first of him a writer for the show. No, she's the second. Because she's the first one since Ann Nesenti. Which, yeah, that was like a long time ago, basically, when, I think her last issue Ann Nesenti wrote was like issue 300. And that was back in like the late, I think it was like early 90s. I think it was like late 80s, early 90s when issue 300 came out. And now Stephanie Phillips, a writer who I've met in person a couple times. She's awesome. And when I heard she got this, I'm like, okay, you have me interested because the thing is, I love her Harley Quinn book that she did. It's weird that she left DC Comics, because as of currently, she's not doing anything for DC as far as I can tell. The other is that Stephanie can take over Wonder Woman, and it's Stephanie Williams, a writer who got her job because Marvel liked her Twitter threads. And that's the reason why they hired her. Stephanie Phillips, in her hand, is a completely different brand because the thing is, she writes good comics. Because the stuff I read by her are really good. Though I do agree with Think Critical. He referred to as basically, when the Herman Ashes line started, he referred to it as the best title of the line. I would definitely put it as even as, let's say, the main X-Men book by Jen McKay and Wolverine by Saad Ahmed. Yeah, that's what I put. It's interesting, though, the fact that when this From the Ashes line started, we had two books written by women. Of course, Ken X was written by Gail Simone, and of course, we have this book here. For Jean Grey in particular, I think this is actually this only is her second ongoing that she's ever had. First time written by a woman. I don't think it's first time the character herself was written by a woman, per se, but her first series written by a woman, because last series featured... Now, this is the first ongoing featuring present-day Jean Grey, because the last one they had, which was called simply Jean Grey, that featured the teenage version of the character. This is more the adult version. And this title is a cosmic-based title, which that's interesting. I guess they want to fill in the gap left by the cancellation of Captain Marvel and Sword, so I guess they figured out why not. Of course, there's no Guardians Galaxy book. Yeah, there's none. Yeah, no Guardians Galaxy book out right now. So we have Alessandro Macaro, basically is artist for the first 4 issues. Well, basically all 5 issues are drawn by this person, and we have Marco Renina. So, in the opening issue, we kind of get the Phoenix destroying planet. And we have, looks like possibly some members that, they're from the Universe Church of Truth, and it's all about, they have like a service, and Jean Grey is doing her thing, where she's like helping people, and then we cut to a prison known as Kylan 2. Orbit around the planet known as Ton 618, a black hole. So we have Nova with a new character, Cade, who wants to really get the prisoners out, and then of course we have this guy called Morg. He gets knocked out. Actually, he gets knocked in the head. Jean Grey, of course, has a conversation with Cyclops. This is very similar to what Peter Quill and Kitty Pryde are up to for Legendary Star-Lord and the all-new X-Men book. This is a very similar idea to that. I guess Stephanie Phillips basically was probably asked to do this. I think it's perfectly fine. She's Manti, of course. And then there's then she goes to her ship. Yeah, Jean Grey's got a spaceship that's in the shape of a blackbird. Yep. Then we have this person beat up this guy, and Phoenix helps stabilize the black hole and get everybody out. And the part of the thing crashes and unleashes this guy here. A dark god who last appeared in the pages of Thor. Yes, he's no Thor villain. You're thinking, wait, like, unless you're really like, who the heck is this guy? He says he fought Thor. When did he fight Thor? When Dan Jurgens wrote the title. Yes. Yeah. And then we have, get this, so we have Jean Grey, the Phoenix, or Final Cornstar in the Black Order briefly appear. And that leads to the next issue where you have Jean Grey on her spaceship, where she is, looks like she's about to go to bed. And then, of course, she's alerted by an attack, and she rescues Cornstar, her father-in-law, which, he explained in the book that for some unknown reason, the Starjammers kicked him out of their ship. And before the book even ends, by the way, this book lasted for 15 issues, by the way, they never explain why. So, we get a flashback to Dark God, and then we have Cornstar in his in a towel. Scott's like, don't trust him because he's a pirate, despite the fact he is his father. I think Cornstar knows that despite the fact, yes, he's on a spaceship with a beautiful woman, he does know this is his son's wife, so he does know he does not want to put his hands on her. He can admire her, yes, the fact that she's very beautiful. And the thing is, he's a widower, and he does technically have a girlfriend. But she's not in the book. Nope, not here. And then we see Proxima Midnight on a Skrull planet, not the Throne World, that was destroyed by freaking Galactus back in the 80s. Battling Skrulls, working with her father-in-law, and yeah. And we have flashback to stuff with Thor, which is really interesting. Which, for some reason, they don't put editor's notes and say, hey, read Thor by Dan Jurgens. So, and she comes face to face with the Black Order. Though, their last appearance prior to this was actually in Avengers Beyond. Yeah, they appeared in that 2-issue miniseries, which came out a year prior to this. And, interesting enough with this book, Black Swan is not here. You're like, what? Black Swan's not here? I know what happened to her, per se, except that she had somehow left the group and she got placed with Supergiant. Yep. So she's fighting the Black Order. Oh yeah, the fact that, of course, but he didn't know about the army of Asgard zombies. He had no idea about that. And of course, then contact somebody. And of course, then we have Throne World 2. Yeah, this is the new Throne World because Virgil was destroyed back in the 80s, like I mentioned. And just here with a guest appearance by Carol Danvers. Yep. In her outfit debut during the Hellfire Gala. One of them, anyways. And, well, they're happy to be together. They're just good. They're surprisingly good friends, despite the fact these two have very rarely interact with each other. Yeah, that's the thing. The way Steve Films write these two, it's like these two are best friends, despite the fact that, here's the thing. Jean Grey made her debut in the 1960s. Back in the early 60s. I think that Carol Danvers, I think it was like the very late 70s she made her debut. She's a Roy Thomas creation. But if you're curious though, whenever Carol Danvers interacted with the X-Men, mostly it's just been very scarce. So we come to the meeting place, the Galactic Council. So we have these representatives here. We have Smasher here, who is actually This is the female Smasher who is the wife of Cannonball and the mother of his only child. Yeah, she's here representing the Shi'ar. Yeah, Pybok representing the Kree Sabak Alliance. Talking about the Phoenix, it's like we need to control her. You brought a dark god of the council. Yep. And like, oh, you're executioner, and then for some reason, now this is more Thor stuff here, because she goes to a planet and runs into. Now, I should point out though, when I show this character off, because the last time he appeared was actually in the King Thor miniseries. Gore the God Butcher. Yep, he's here. I'm guessing the reason why Stephanie included him in here because he appeared in the last Thor movie. That's the only reason I can think of why he's included here. He's got his black heart, and then she just turns him into a sun. Yes, turned a Thor villain created by Jason Aaron, who I've met. And, well, then, oh yeah, they're watching her. More so with Phoenix. So we have like this cosmic entity with the deal with the Celestial brief camp by the Watcher. Yeah, the Watcher who's alive. It's not Uatu because actually Uatu, I think he did reassume his role. So yeah, and more battling Gore. Oh yeah, Phoenix is dangerous. It's like maintain order here, like. The supposed Phoenix, and then you see her basically reacting to us. Probably witnesses, you know I can hear you. The alien presence is not wanted. I am here to help. Turning a living creature to a star is going to help expert. Perkins, I wondered where you clawed off to escape the black hole. All black replaced Gore's heart. Gore would not be survive. So. Then, of course, the Phoenix is coming, and of course, well, the Alliance. So, yeah, and of course, well, Addie, and then, like, he fights her, and then, of course, basically, it's like, the only possible Phoenix problem is, I'll do the Phoenix, exchange my protection. Thanos will take over leadership of the Galactic Council. For a start, then I'll decide what to do the rest of my galaxy. Yeah, Thanos. You're like, wait, isn't he dead? Yeah, his. At times, I think that when Marvel brings the guy back, it is just completely random. No, seriously, it feels like complete randomness. It's like, oh, here's Thanos alive and well somehow. Yeah. And what is he here to do? Fight Jean Grey, a woman he has never done a one-on-one fight before. Did you know at one point he fought Star-Lord? Yeah, he fought Star-Lord twice. And people think, oh, he's just an enemy of like he's a big threat per se. But having him appear in a Phoenix book is interesting because technically this is an X book. Thanos doesn't usually appear in X books. You're like, really? Because, mostly put, he's a Cosmic Avengers villain. That's pretty much the way he is. I mean, he made his debut in Avengers comic book. Well, technically Avengers. Remember comic book that being Iron Man. Where, for the most part, the man has maintained the same look for decades. This guy has been around for over 50 years, and his look has never changed. Though, of course, basically his father is dead. His father was Mentor. His brother, for some reason, when I last saw him, the artist made him look feminine. Don't know the reason for this. It is kind of interesting the fact they included him in here. I'm gonna try to say exactly what was his last appearance prior to this very comic book. So, prior to this comic book, his last appearance was actually in one of the Avengers annuals as part of the Infinity Watch stuff, but technically came back to life in the Thanos miniseries, the one that Christopher Cantwell wrote. Yeah, I'm fine with him being back per se, like, because he did die at the end of Eternals, and he was there somewhat a little bit. You probably think he need to come back at some point. You could say that the Thanos miniseries, the last one he had, that probably that revived him, and so, yeah, that's the reason why he's here. But very cool book, loved it. Give it a 9.5 out of 10. Now I'll talk about a comic book that got canceled due to low sales. One of the first two comics canceled, the other being X-Force, though later on they canceled, like right after the words X Factor ended. That being NYX, What Comes Next Will Be Marvelous. Written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. Considered by many people who read this comic to be the worst comic the whole line. Well, they're not wrong. It's not all that good. It is mostly put just a... Like, when this book was... Now, this technically is second volume for NYX. Like, in the case of Phoenix, it contains things like the first 5 issues of this book. Is it an original comic? No. This is a revival of a comic that was released in 2003. I mean, the only connection between this book and the original one is that Laura McKinley's in the book, who is Wolverine here. So the first issue, we tease some stuff here with Empath, and we see Miss Marvel just walking about. It's like when they launched this book, it's like so many people at Marvel just did not want to give Miss Marvel another ongoing series. Probably because basically the last one didn't last very long. The last one she had was Magnificent Miss Marvel by Saad Ahmed, and it lasted for 18 issues. So we're seeing her swinging with her giant hands. And then she just runs into Sophie Cuckoo. And she does ask... Well, I have to stop here because dinner is ready. So I'll pick up here when I come back. Okay?